Welcome to another episode of Crush Crush. I'm Bring Stabity, the stabbiest stab that ever stabbity'd, and we are making a little bit more progress. Last time we maxed out Kira, and we're getting very close to the end of the list. We got Miss Desiree, Nightingale, Grace, Desdemona, Abby, Shelley. Miss Desiree, Nightingale, Grace, Desdemona, Abby, Shelley, and we do have Honey visible here, but not yet on the phone side. Anyway, we were at Kira. Now let's jump out to the next girl, Miss Desiree. You're sitting in the front row of Miss Desiree's advanced physics class. When partway through the lesson, you spot something glinting in the light. Could it be perhaps the triangle that's pointing down into her cleavage? Also notice, on the Steam side, cleavage. On the phone side, less cleavage. Like cleavage, but not extreme cleavage. Here, extreme cleavage. Whatever it is, it's landed on Miss Desiree's perfect head. You raise your hand to let her know, only for you both to realize that what you saw was her first gray hair. Self-esteem crushed. Mortified, Miss Desiree dismisses her students almost an hour early. You should probably stay after class and find some way to make her feel better.
I'm like the crypt keeper.
Oh wow. That gray hair looks horrible on her. How many girls left to max out? Well, we've got Desiree, Nightingale, Grace, Desdemona, Abby, Shelley, Honey. 7. Amelia is 8. Pepper is 9.
The more
Baby
time
Bell 10. Nova
I've been
11.
skating since I was 5. I know how to take a fall.
Yuki 12.
I don't know if I'm ready to
13, 14,
fall,
15, 16,
you know?
17,
Like,
18,
fall in-
19, 20.
Yeah, I'm gonna die of cringe if I say
21,
that.
22,
Forget
23,
it.
24. 25. 26, 27, 28, 29. Looks like 29. Hot for teacher. Red Snom, I got it made, got it made, got it made. I'm hot for teacher.
I'm like the crypt keeper.
Poke.
If you want to get my attention, I would much rather you raise your hand, or make an appointment to meet with me during my scheduled office hours.
Oh, but I like poking you. Sorry.
What will become of my chili pepper rating on GradeMyProfessor.com now?
I don't know. Might lose a little bit there. Slightly less hot.
I'm not vain. It's the visual reminder of my mortality I take umbrage with.
Well, at least you're not Professor Umbridge.
Of course, it's a law of the universe that all matter succumbs to entropy and decay over time. But why does it have to show on my face?
Well, you know, some people prefer the older ladies. I'm not one of them, but yeah.
Why couldn't you have just raised your hand to ask a tedious question already answered in the course syllabus, like everyone else?
Because I'm special.
I'm not. Why couldn't? What will become of my Why
All right,
couldn't
let's
you
just
have just
gift you
raised
one
your
book.
hand? This is going right where I put all my world's best teacher mugs. In a box labeled thrift store donations.
Ugh. She don't like us much.
I am too young to be going gray already. This is all down to that no-good, sleazy Claude, Dean Hoff, and the unnecessary stress he put me through.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess backstory, she got fired, blackmailed, and then she sued the school, got her job back, got a bunch of money. But it seems all the stress gave her gray hair.
Ipso facto, if stress is what's causing me to age prematurely, and my aging prematurely is causing me to feel more stressed... Oh, no!
Oh yes, you are caught in a feedback loop. And it's not going to be fun for you.
Yes, what is it? Do you have a question? Preferably about the course material this time.
How about I just poke ya? Nah, we need to talk first.
The old wives' tale asserts that if I pluck this gray hair, then 2 more will sprout in its place. Luckily for me, old wives' tales have no basis in actual science.
Her backstory? Yep, that was her backstory that I gave you. So she actually appears... I'm gonna ignore Honey for a second. No. There she is. Anyway, yeah, so we've got like an entire backstory here of text messages to explain what actually happened, but yeah. We'll be covering that stuff some other time. For now, we just need to know that she is a physics professor. She's actually Peanut's physics professor. That's how we initially got in touch with her. And yeah. Anyway, have some tea.
This is going right where I put all my world's best teacher
happy.
mugs.
Poke.
Excuse me. No horseplay in the lab.
Some people are into horse play.
Why couldn't you have just... Some days there simply just isn't enough coffee in the teacher's lounge.
Oh hey, her gray hair disappeared. Oh, that's right, because she plucked it out. She literally said that as we were leveling up.
The old... I can still be the young, fun professor, can't I? Gray hair is no impediment to me moving class outside, for example.
Sure it is.
Why couldn't you have... Someday... The old what? I can still be the young, fun professor, can't
Alright,
I?
have some earrings.
Great. I still have half a mind to keep you after class, you cheeky little confection.
Ah, that's what she calls her marshmallow.
You wouldn't consider that a punishment. We'll see about that. I can't believe your attention wandered like that during my very stimulating lecture. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Also, wait, silly me. We forgot stuff last episode. Kira, we got you
You
up to
may
love
not
her.
be a mermaid, but you were clearly mermaid for me.
No, we need to buy stuff for her. No thanks. We'll get that some other time. But that was Kira.
Please! Please!
Mirabelle.
Glad to see you. Did you hear the joke about the horse whose feet were too swollen for horseshoes?
No,
It's a bit lame, if I'm being honest.
we can't do anything with her either. Okay, never mind. We didn't miss anything, and Nova is
I've
not
been
maxed
skating
out
since
yet.
I was 5. I know.
She's got the animated pose, nothing else. Cool. Okay, so it turns out I didn't actually miss
I
anything.
can't believe your attention wandered like that during my
Back to Miss
very
Desiree.
stimulating lecture. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Sure you are.
According to the principles of time dilation, if only I were moving at a sufficient speed, then my rate of aging, relatively speaking, would decrease. Of course, the velocity required to produce a noticeable effect is well beyond our current technology. Also, I might get motion sickness.
So I guess that's not a solution for you, Miss Desiree. You'll just have to suffer the ravages of entropy just like the rest of us. Poke.
Excuse me. You're very sweet, but I don't give out grades for effort.
Get it? Because we're a marshmallow, and marshmallows are sweet.
That's quarks, not quacks. I teach physics, not while away my days by an idyllic little pond at the park. Although that does sound nice now that I think of it. Albert Einstein's gray hair never seemed to negatively impact his viability as a romantic or sexual partner for his numerous and varied paramours.
Yeah, but Albert Einstein was Albert Einstein, and you are nobody.
According to the principles of time dilation, some days there... Some days there... I can still be the young... You're very sweet. Some
Alright, I
days
think
there
that's
simply
everything.
just isn't enough
Let's see
coffee in the
just giving
teacher's
one
lounge.
gift.
Oh, Is this the sort of thing one usually gifts to their young, sexy professors? Because I swear I've seen something like this in a retirement-aged colleague's office.
Definitely the second one. Guilty as charged. Here, I'm trying to give you some, MILF going on GILF outfits. There, have the rest of the shoes.
Having taken the time to set my feelings aside and assess this situation more analytically, it seems unfair of me to hold you responsible for a natural process which you merely observed.
But, Miss Desiree, have you factored into account the quantum mechanics? Is it possible that had I not observed it, it would not have happened? And that it's only the mere act of observation that caused that gray hair to appear?
And further to that conclusion, so what? So what if I'm showing outward signs of aging? My sexual vibrancy is not limited by the melanin deposits in my hair, and as a scientist, I'll prove it.
And as a gambler, I'll wage you. I'll make a wager on that.
It's traditional to make an offering of an apple when greeting one's teacher. But in my case, a coffee with a generous splash of Irish cream wouldn't go amiss.
Ah, you're that kind of teacher.
That's quarks.
Oak,
Excuse me.
still no horse.
No horseplay in the lab. That's quarks, not quacks. Next will be frown lines, most likely. But I earned those by staring with my brow furrowed at complex mathematical equations. On me, they'll have to start referring to them as genius lines.
Yeah, tomato. This is all because of a single gray hair. Oh. But yeah, speaking of frown lines, I don't exactly have, well, no, I guess technically it is a frown line. At first I thought she was talking about like crow's feet by the eyes, but no, I've got like a massive wrinkle across my forehead. My cousin's wife, when they were still just dating, when they were engaged, she looked at him like, "What happened to your forehead?" I'm like, "I don't know, nothing. What? You got that big scratch across them?" Like, "That's not a scratch. That's a frown line. That's something my students gave me." Yeah, I did. I was a TA when I was doing grad school, so yeah, I can blame my students for a lot of things. All right, I have a book. Let's see how you react.
Oh, is this the sort of thing one usually gifts to their young, sexy professors?
Yeah, definitely not.
Next will be frown. Students are always asking me how they can improve their grade. You're the first to ask how to improve my day.
Maybe a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. Maybe I'll improve your day, and you'll improve my grade.
Albert, students are always according to the principal. Albert, according to the students are always asking me. Next will be frown
All right,
lines,
nothing
most
else.
likely.
So have some bags.
But I earned those by staring. You were a good student. Other than that one notable exception, you weren't disruptive in class. And you didn't fall asleep even once.
Well, you're just that enchanting.
So, I suppose what I'm saying is, you're welcome to sit in on my classes again if you like. I won't even charge you tuition.
I've done that plenty of times. You know, like there's just a topic you want to learn about, but you don't need it for your degree. Literally just sit in the class. Now, obviously it works when it's a giant lecture. It doesn't work so well when it's a small, one-on-one class.
Of course you can carry my books. I should warn you, though. The average physics text has a noticeable force of gravitational attraction with the Earth. That is to say, they're heavy AF.
She going with the slang now. Let's talk
The
about it.
latest issue of my subscription to Communications in Mathematical Physics should be waiting for me when I arrive home today. I wonder who's on the cover this week. I can hardly wait to find out.
I'm a nerd. I like physics. And that does not interest me at all. Poke.
Test the theory if you must, but I can tell you, Yes, serious scientists do giggle. See?
I'll happily tickle her some more. If I tried these things that's happening now with my teacher, I'd be suspended from the college. All right. Let's go on
It's a good
moonlight
thing I
stroll.
always carry my pointer, because I just couldn't resist that perfect opportunity to tell you about the moon's gravitational interaction with the Earth. But of course, you're right. The moonlight was very pretty too.
But she doesn't have the pointer on the mobile version. That's unfortunate. You know, it's nice. I get to point out all these different things. All right, I have a necklace.
Oh, why, this is lovely, but it's too much, really. I couldn't possibly accept. Well, if you insist.
On the one hand, I do insist. On the other hand, she didn't protest all that hard. Let's see what else.
There are days I want to debate the limitations of time travel within the framework of Einstein's theory of special relativity. And then there are days I want to watch a sexy TV show about going back in time and falling in love with a shirtless warrior. Sometimes they are the same day.
You need Einstein's general theory of relativity, not the special theory of relativity to get time travel. Special theory of relativity is for the special case where everything is moving in an inertial reference frame. And you can't get time travel there. You need to go to general relativity, which accounts for non-inertial reference frames to allow for time travel. Yes, I am a nerd.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Compliments on my brilliance are always welcome. But there are times that compliments on my brilliant bod are even better. This is one of those times, by the way.
Your bod is as amazing as your brain, Miss Desiree. How about that? I think that's a good one.
The latest issue of... Would you believe it? One time someone tried to pick me up by saying they were a scientist too. When I asked what discipline, they told me mixology. So I got them to make me a drink before I turned them down. Not a bad martini, actually.
That's a good story. And yes, mixology is not a science.
The latest issue... A defining feature of any woman we culturally deem to be a bombshell is her platinum blonde hair, correct? But in all actuality, platinum is closer to silver than golden hue. Ergo, I'm still a bombshell. And I have the body, too. Not that that was ever in doubt.
To be honest, I like brunettes more than blondes. And now your student pick you up just by plugging a white hair.
A train is traveling 100 kilometers an hour, but riding that train is a common housefly, who is currently buzzing his way from the caboose to the engine at the 8 km/h speed, typical of his species. How fast is he really flying?
There is no such thing as an absolute reference frame, so any speed is true and acceptable.
Would you believe it? What? Oh, don't get me wrong. A train is traveling 100 kilometers an hour, but riding that train is a common housefly. Flip that tassel on your proverbial cap, because you've graduated to the friend zone.
Oh, lame.
That means you're invited to campus pub nights, but not the more intimate social occasions I host in my private residence. At least, not yet.
Well, I'll take you up on that yet bit.
Just the person I wanted to see. I wanted to bounce some ideas for my next lecture off of you. Although now that I'm looking at you, I have a different kind of bouncing in mind.
Oh my. Well, let's go to the beach first.
Sunbathing by the pool is lovely, but by the beach is better. And having you there by my side, well, that was the best.
She does look nice here. Have a little flirt.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on string theory versus loop quantum gravity. Alternately, you can describe in detail all the things you'd like to do to my body. The choice is yours.
So at the moment, neither string theory nor loop quantum gravity is anything more than a theory, and they all have problems with them. Partially they can't be proven, partially they require a bunch of assumptions that we can't really accept. Hey, Anweiss, you asking if Miss Desiree is a nerd? She's a physics professor, so yes, she's a super nerd. And I'm so much of a super nerd that I decided to give my thoughts about string theory versus loop quantum gravity instead of describing in detail all the things I'd like to do to her body. Let me just quote Zakharov here on string theory. Oh, please do. In the meantime, I'll give a single magical candle to see what she says.
Oh, why, this is lovely. But it's too much, really.
Same thing, we already had that poke. Had that.
I'd love to. People are always asking me whether I'm a white wine or red wine kind of woman. What a question. Can't there be a unifying theory of fermented grape drinking?
Of course there can. It's called rosé. Which reminds me, there is a chart that says what your choice of wine tells you about you. And if you're drinking a rosé, it means you're either under 21 or you want to look like you're under 21. Quite a brave little theory and quite coherent for a universe of 5 or 7 dimensions, if only we lived in one. Anyways, I think a little bit closer to 10 or 11 dimensions, not 5 or 7. Tomato, if someone tell you that they know quantum physics, then they're either lying or they're just crazy. Yes. Quantum mechanics is weird. You're just quoting the game. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's still hilarious. But yeah, whenever I hear Zakharov from Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, I always think of Hans Zarkov, formerly at NASA. Alright. Heard a bit more?
Don't get me wrong. You don't think Marie Curie is prettier than me, do you?
Miss Desiree, I'm sorry, but she's got Polish privilege. She is cuter than you, or prettier than you.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Compliments on my... The latest issue... I'd love to... You don't think... There are... The latest... You don't think Marie Curie is prettier than me, do you?
Okay, I think that's everything, so... Let's give you the rest of those magic candles.
I've always loved to curl up with a good glass of wine. And a 1,000-page book of cutting-edge theoretical physics.
I prefer to stick to just, regular fiction. Zakharov has a very distinctive Russian accent. Da, comrade. He does.
But lately, I've been burning for someone to share it with. Could it be you?
1,000-page physics book? I will gladly burn it with you. And Curie may be Polish, but the photos I found of her don't look terribly cute. That is true. Not particularly.
Oh dear.
Some diamonds.
Why is it that every time I see you, I wind up so tongue-tied I worry I won't recover in time to teach my next class?
I guess I just have that effect on professors that have gotten their first gray hair.
Feel free to compliment me whenever you feel like it. The old guard establishment may be loath to admit it, but flattery will get you everywhere in academia. And with me specifically.
Good to know. Now the person with the wonderful voice and smack is Morgan. Remind me what he sounds like. Is he just Magic Black Man?
Test. Feel free to compliment me whenever you... You make me think there might be more to life than what can be quantifiably observed in reproducible laboratory conditions.
Yes, the thing that can be reproduced in bedroom conditions is also important.
The new dean gifted me a bottle of top-shelf, very expensive scotch. And I can't think of anyone I'd rather share it with than you.
Aw, thanks, Miss Desiree.
You make me think there might... An intelligent woman is one who knows her own mind, knows what she wants, And what I want is you.
Aww.
It's not fair. I tried to picture my lecture hall naked in order to calm my nerves, but all I could think about was you. That didn't calm me down at all.
Okay, I got that link. I'll click on it later, NYS. Or even better, send it through Discord.
The new It's not fair. You make me think there might... Diamonds have myriad practical uses in the field of science, but I've never heard of using them the way you do.
Really? Diamonds have 10,000 practical uses? That's what myriad means. Drinking with her student, huh? Oh yes, she is into that. Although from the sound of it, it does sound like I'm just sitting in her class. I'm not actually one of her students. Not there. I meant to click on the lightning bolt.
Just because I was cold on our tour doesn't mean my scarf was useless. It served as a perfect real-life demonstration of Bernoulli's principle.
Not really. No, it didn't. Let's give you a single scarf.
This is so cute! I mean, my regards for this thoughtful token of your affection.
Ah, thank you. So here's a question for you, Stab. Who do you prefer, Zach or Miriam? Zach was University and Miriam was Believers? Alright, let's keep chatting, see if there's anything else.
Diamonds have myriad practical uses in the field of science, but the new... You make me think there might be more to life than what can be quantifiably... Did you accidentally magnetize yourself in the lab?
Why am I attractive?
Because I'm suddenly finding myself rather attracted to you.
I predicted the pun.
You, me, a picnic lunch behind the bleachers. What do you say?
Sounds like you think you're still in high school, not like you still think you're a sexy young professor. Anyway, correct. Zach is University and Miriam is Believers. Oh, jeez. Both of them seem terrible, but when it comes to weird ivory tower academics versus weird Protestant fundamentalist, I'd reluctantly go for the weird ivory tower intellectual, but barely. Both are preferable to Yang. Oh, both are very preferable to Yang. Remember, Yang's a communist, and communists aren't people. Alright, let's take her off to the movie theater.
That film contained an insulting amount of flawed science. And yet, every time an improbable plot twist occurred, your hand would casually brush against mine in the popcorn bucket, thus shorting out my higher brain function and causing me to forget why I was annoyed. Whether or not you were doing that on purpose, I liked it a lot.
Zakharov is a pretty damn scary ivory tower intellectual. True. But Miriam's also a pretty scary anti-intellectual. There was a Polish mercenary with comments about the humanity of communists. Yes, there was. He was more than just a mercenary. He was a soldier, a human rights activist, a mercenary, like you said, a philosopher, and with that quote, I would even say poet. He was once asked what it felt like to take a human life. His name was Rafał Ganganowicz, and his reply was, "I wouldn't know. I've only ever killed communists." All right, let's flirt some more with the professor, who, based off of the politics of modern-day universities, has a unfortunately high percentage chance of being a total commie.
I was so laser-focused on becoming a tenured professor before 30 that all I did was work, work, work. Even once I achieved my goal, I found it hard to switch off. It was like the part of me that was fun-loving and spontaneous had atrophied from disuse. Then I texted you, and that all changed. You helped me be me again, gray hair or not. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a poke.
Careful now! Too much squirming and I might pop a garter.
Poke again!
Well, you're getting awfully bold, aren't you? I didn't say I didn't like it.
Poke again!
Careful now! Too much squirming and I might pop a garter.
That said, she is in theoretical physics, which has a lower chance of hyperleftism. That is true. But it also means she's not very politically developed, which means she might just go with whatever some random people tell her to do. Anyway, let's send you one jam. 30 quadrillion.
This is so cute! I mean, my regards for this thoughtful token of your affection.
Sure.
I need a day off. Do wayward students still pull the fire alarm unnecessarily? Would you like to?
Maybe. Could be fun. Never did such a delinquent thing in my days.
The new dean. Feel free to compliment me whenever you feel. Would you still love me if I was a tardigrade?
No. But I would hire you as a subject matter expert to prove that the writers of Star Trek Discovery did in fact steal the plot from a very bad gay visual novel called Tardigrades by some Arab guy. Really weird story, but a court said it didn't, but everybody knew that they did. Sadly, the representative of the UN is actually pretty high up the smack leader totem pole. Tardigrades are too late. Yes, they are. Tardigrades are just as bad as tardy assignments.
The new. Feel free. Well, you're getting awfully bold, aren't you?
All right, let's give you the
I
rest
say
of the
I didn't
jam.
like. I may be a tenured professor, but looking at you makes me feel like a giddy schoolgirl again.
Oh my.
My cheeks blush, my heart beats in my ears. I feel the sensation colloquially referred to as butterflies in my stomach.
Ooh la la.
My mind's been working overtime today. No, not untangling string theory. Coming up with excuses to see you.
But hey, we got Morgan, and Morgan is great. Yes, he is. Okay, well, sadly, we do not have enough money to max out Miss Desiree. We just need those mystic slippers, and we don't have it. We don't have what it takes. But... there it is. Apple. Oh. You can buy multiple. Oh, I'll give you just one.
Oh my! Thank you. Did I get caught up in my research and forget another special occasion again?
Oh no, NYS has ads. Anyway, let's hop over here, find Smart at 66. Ugh, that stinks. Smart, yep, there we go. Gonna take a while. Yeah, half an hour just to make it up to 67 on here. Well, that's gonna have to work itself out. That's another 11 minutes before it gets to 67. We can see how long it's gonna take. But yeah, that's Miss Desiree as far as we can get with her, and we're down to 69 quadrillion in funds when we started with 10 quintillion. A crazy, crazy world we live in. Really glad you don't use Twitch and never use it. Well, on the other hand, Tomato, using Twitch does give me a couple of AdSense. So, you know, it's a little bit of one or the other. You could open up Twitch in one window and YouTube in another window. But anyway, we are past the 30-minute mark. We're already at 34 minutes. So, thank you everybody for checking out this episode. Please like, follow, subscribe. Check me out on Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, and Kick. I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye now.